at the Bet Rivers Sportsbook after opening at 7.5. So we already have 3 points of movement in this game towards Michigan. So just keep that in mind, you out there, person listening, if you're looking to place a bet on Michigan in this game, that you're not going to get the best of the number at this point, which is why it always pays to be looking a little earlier in the week, or shameless self-promotion here. Listen to my show, Better You Bet, as we 4 hours every night, 4 to 8 p.m. Eastern, where we'll tell you like what we're doing early in the week. But I would still only look to bet Michigan in this game. I just think it profiles as a major bounce-back spot for the Wolverines here, and I like Greg Schiano and Rutgers, and I think that he'll get that program to respectability long-term. But, I mean, this is just a major talent disparity here between Michigan and Rutgers. So I think this is a bounce-back spot for Michigan. Lay it or don't play it for me, for John Jansen's Wolverines. Give me Michigan here laying it on the Wolverines.
But is it a talent disparity, or is it just a brand name disparity?
Oh, no, I think that there's a talent disparity. I mean, because here's the thing, and like I think here's where you could really kill Jim Harbaugh, right? Is that this Michigan team does have talent, right? I mean, if we would look at the recruiting rankings, like I think it kind of here's the misnomer, and I think I've said this with you guys, where like people think it's Ohio State and then it's Michigan in the Big Ten, where actually it's Ohio State and then James Franklin and Penn State and then Michigan here. So I think the recruiting obviously needs to be better for Michigan, but I mean, Michigan is a better team than Rutgers, and I think it's reflected in this point spread and certainly in the movement here. Now it's up to Harbaugh and this team to go out there on the field and prove it. I actually think they will coming up tomorrow night in New Jersey.
Before we go to the NFL, just real quick nationally, thoughts on Bedlam?
I kind of like Oklahoma State a little bit here. Let me see what the line is, because it was 7 last night when I went to bed.
I think it's still 7.
Yeah, still sitting at 7 here. So OU's a 7-point favorite with a total of 59 in this game, and that's kind of jarring, right? To see a total of 59 when these two teams play. Normally, we're used to seeing that number in like the 70s. But the reason that number's 59 is because Oklahoma State's defense is actually pretty good, and Oklahoma's defense has shown this year that when you can run the ball on them a little bit, you can have some success. So I don't know that Oklahoma State, that Mike Gundy and the Cowboys are going to be able to pull the outright upset, but I think Oklahoma State can fall inside the number here and cover the spread. There has been movement towards Oklahoma State already. This opened OU around 9.5 from 10 and has dropped down to the full 2.5, 3 points, down to 7. I still like Oklahoma State. Now, if this dips below 7, it is not worth the bet for me. You want to be able to capture that number of 7 if you're going to bet on Oklahoma State. So it's not one of my favorite bets of the weekend. This is more of like a game that I'll probably just want to watch and enjoy, but I would take the 7 points with Mike Gundy in Oklahoma State.
Well, Nick, a game you probably don't want to watch. It's taking place in Carolina on Sunday, where the Lions take on the Panthers. Bridgewater looks like he's probably not going to play. We're not sure about Stafford. Galladay did practice. DeAndre Swift in concussion protocol. How do you even look at this game? Is you just wait till Sunday to find out who's playing, who's not?
Well, I think, unfortunately for Carolina Panthers fans, I think we have a pretty good idea of what's going to happen here in terms of who's going to play based on what the point spread is. Like, if there were significant doubts about Stafford and Bridgewater, this game would be off the board. It is on the board over at Bet Rivers, and the Lions are a 2.5-point favorite, which obviously, to me at least, says that Matthew Stafford is going to play for the Lions, returned to practice yesterday, albeit in a limited fashion, and that Teddy Bridgewater will not be playing for the Carolina Panthers, because if both guys are playing and both teams are healthy, Panthers are a 3-point favorite in this game. Maybe you can make the case it's 2.5, but Carolina's absolutely favored in this game. And the fact that Detroit's now favored again tells me the Lions will have their starting quarterback, Matthew Stafford, and the Panthers will be without theirs, Teddy Bridgewater. So I think here's the question people have to ask themselves, and we'll see on Kenny Galladay. He practiced Wednesday, did not practice, Galladay practiced Wednesday, did not practice yesterday. That may have just been like a day of rest. We'll see about Galladay today. Hawkinson, limited in practice. We'll see about Amendola and Marvin Jones. But again, this indicates to me the Lions could be close to full strength, probably without DeAndre Swift. The question that you have to ask yourself, right, is what do you think the adjustment is from Teddy Bridgewater to Carolina's backup quarterback, P.J. Walker, right, who started in the XFL last year and obviously played under Matt Rule, Panthers coach, collegiately. Is that like a 5-point swing? I think that there's some unknown here with P.J. Walker, right, who was really good when we saw him in the XFL, but I mean, this is the National Football League, so I don't think I'm going to bet this game, but I think if I were going to, I think I would actually lay it with the Lions. Like, I don't think I can bet Carolina in the spot with P.J. Walker probable to make the start.
Well, the Lions historically have a knack of making quarterbacks that you never heard of look really good when they play them for the first time.
Yeah, I feel like most fan bases feel like that. Like, I'm a Giants fan, and I certainly feel like that's been the case with my team here. Just got to try as a better, though, to approach each game individually. Panthers are going to be without Christian McCaffrey here now. I mean, Detroit's, the defensive line, and the run defense has obviously not been fantastic, but that is a major boon as well with Christian McCaffrey missing this game for the Carolina Panthers. So for me, it's the Lions or nothing. I'll be honest though, it will probably be nothing for me in this game.
What's your best bet?
So there's a lot of games I like coming up this weekend. The Cowboys catching a touchdown or more on the road in Minnesota. Quick rationale behind that. People are like, oh my God, how could you get the Cowboys? Well, Andy Dalton's going to be back. Major upgrade, of course, over Ben DiNucci and Garrett Gilbert. And though the Vikings have looked good on this 3-game win streak, their secondary hasn't been tested in any of the games, and their secondary is bad. So 3 weeks ago, wind game at Lambeau. Can't throw the ball down the field. We crossed that out. Then it was the Lions, like with Matthew Stafford getting concussed and without Kenny Galladay, and then on Monday night where the Bears couldn't threaten a Big 12 defense. So I actually think Andy Dalton and CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper and Michael Gallup can threaten this Vikings secondary down the field. So I will take the touchdown. Hopefully you can get more than a touchdown, but I like the touchdown with the Dallas Cowboys. I bet the Eagles earlier in the week plus 3.5. So if this number ticks back up at Bet Rivers, I do like Philly. Browns love to run the ball. That's actually Philly's defensive strength. And Cleveland's secondary is awful. We may forget that, guys, because the last 2 times we've seen the Browns, it's been in these wind-affected games. The loss to the Raiders before the bye, the win over the Texans on Sunday. So I think this sets up as a bounce-back spot for Carson Wentz to have a pretty nice game with Jalen Reagor and Dallas Goedert catching the ball down the field. Give me the Eagles at anything above a field goal on the road at the Cleveland Browns. I like the Washington football team laying 1.5 against Cincinnati. The Texans should be favored against the Patriots, so I think Houston's worth a look. They're currently 2-point home underdogs against the Patriots. They're going to be able to throw the ball all over the place on the New England Patriots. The Ravens got a really negative injury report with Brandon Williams looking like he's going to miss this game, along with Calais Campbell. Nick Boyle's out for the season, so they're losing physicality on both sides of the ball here on both lines. I like the Titans. This number has moved to 5, but I still like Tennessee plus the 5 points on the road in Baltimore.
All right, Nick, have a great weekend. Happy Thanksgiving to you, and we'll talk to you shortly.
Great. Happy Thanksgiving to you guys. Happy Thanksgiving to your families, to all the listeners as well, and wishing everybody this weekend minimal sweats, winning bets, and the absolute very best of luck.
All right, that was Radio.com sports betting insider Nick Costos. Nick, brought to us by Bet Rivers Sportsbook. Go to betrivers.net and sign up for the free $5,000 weekly pick'em contest. Also, go check out Nick on his show, You Better You Bet. Great betting insights and fun wherever you find your favorite podcasts.
All right, so I want to talk to you about your hair. Hair loss or thinning hair, it can really impact your self-esteem, and it can be depressing. It can cause depression, anxiety, and a whole lot of other emotional issues. But I want to tell you that there is a solution, and that solution is Dr. Berkowitz. Dr. B from Michigan Hair Restoration can not only restore your hair, he can also restore your confidence. Dr. B is the #1 provider of hair transplants, and he has over 25 years of experience. Plus, he provides the most advanced techniques available to help restore thinning or balding hair in men and women, because you know what? It's not just the guys who start to lose their hair. Women can also experience hair loss. And it doesn't always mean that you need a transplant, because when you think of that, a transplant sometimes isn't something that you might want. There are actually other options that can regrow your hair without surgery. And the best part is that for a limited time, you can actually take advantage of $1,000 off retail price. Yes, $1,000 off your retail price of your hair restoration procedure, and get 0% financing when you mention 971 the ticket. So go online right now, go to MichiganHairRestoration.com. You can actually download Dr. B's book, No Hair, to get all sorts of information on hair restoration. And you can start a live chat, get any of your questions answered. And remember to take advantage of this amazing limited time offer. Tell them Heather sent you, or mention 971 the ticket, and go to MichiganHairRestoration.com today.
97.1 the ticket. Traffic.
From the WWJ AM 950 Traffic Center, this report brought to you by Meyer. Projects coming up today include periodic lane closures for 696
This month, we're saying thanks to our pros in a big way. We have deals on go-to brands like DeWalt, Spyder, and Metabo HPT. During Provember, now through November 25th, you can buy one DeWalt 20-volt Max XR Power Detect tool and get one Bear tool free. We also have credit options to help keep your business moving. Shop in store or at lowesforpros.com/Provember. Lowe's, the new home for pros. Offer valid 10/29 through 11/25. See store for details while supplies last. U.S. only.
What can help you take advantage of today's low mortgage rates and save money? Rocket can. You could save hundreds of dollars every month by refinancing with Rocket Mortgage at today's near historic low rates. If your current rate is over 4%, you could lower your payment by over $150 a month, saving thousands in interest every year. Call us today at 8338-ROCKET or go to rocketmortgage.com.
Second to reason, we can always terminate. All fees may apply. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal house letter. License and all 56 and LLC. Rights to over 330. Right now at Subway restaurants, try the $5.99 meal of the day. Every day it's a different 6-inch sub plus chips in a 20-ounce drink for just $5.99. Come in any day of the week for one of your favorites, like sweet onion chicken teriyaki on Monday or turkey breast on Wednesday. Made on your choice of bread with any veggies and sauces you want. Then add chips in a 20-ounce drink and you've got the $5.99 meal of the day. A great meal at a great price. Every day of the week, only at Subway. At participating restaurants, additional charge for extras plus applicable tax. No additional discounts or coupons may be applied.
In the face of COVID-19, staying healthy is important, and now the same is true in the face of flu. Influenza has the power to infect millions, putting lives and the healthcare system at risk. Now more than ever, getting your flu vaccine is essential. Vaccines are proven to be safe and effective. In a typical year, flu vaccinations prevent millions of illnesses and thousands of hospitalizations and deaths in the U.S. The flu vaccine can't give you the flu, and everyone 6 months and older should be vaccinated. As we continue to face COVID-19, we need to face the flu together to protect our healthcare and essential workers and those at the highest risk for flu complications, people over 65, younger than 5, pregnant women, and those with underlying health conditions. Help us hit the flu head on. Get your vaccine. Learn more at michigan.gov/flu. A message from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services.
The next time you're in Vegas, head to the D Las Vegas. It's not on the Strip, it's in downtown Vegas. The odds are better, the party's bigger, and you'll feel right at home. Book your stay today at thed.com. The D Las Vegas, your home for Detroit sports in Vegas.
When big things happen in Detroit sports, you hear it first on Detroit's #1 sports station, 97.1. The Ticket. Breaking news powered by Radio.com Sports and brought to you by Mercedes-Benz Vans. Find out how far an extra mile really goes.
Now, text or call the Ticket using the same number. Ticket text 248-539-9797. Live from the Jamie Samuelson studio, here's Stoney and Jansen.
All right, as we mentioned with Nick Costos, and we've talked a little bit when we made our picks, Michigan taking on Rutgers tomorrow. Michigan State game in Maryland is canceled, if you didn't know, which I think most of you did. Michigan, obviously, playing like poo-poo, crap, whatever word you want to use. They look horrible. They're 1-3. And Jim Harbaugh's job has been questioned, as it should be. And if this trend continues the rest of the season, he should not be back for year number 6. Rich Rodriguez, remember him?
Oh, yeah.
He was took over for Lloyd Carr and strung seasons together of 3 wins, 5 wins, and 7 wins. Actually made a bowl game his last season. Got thrashed by Dan Mullen in Mississippi State, if my memory is correct.
Mm-hmm.
But Rich Rod was a lightning rod, so to speak. The offense was getting itself together, and there are people who say that his offense would never work in the Big Ten, but it got to be pretty effective. And actually, when Brady Hoke took over, they used, Denard and the way they did, and ended up winning 11 games with a lot of Rich Rod's recruits. I always thought they should have given him one more year because it was trending, but the defense still never got any better, so I understand that. He has a podcast called Hard Edge Football with Rich Rod, and he gave a theory on what's happening at University of Michigan.
Let's get my theory, right? Why would I have any theories about Michigan football, correct? I do think they need to kick the tires a little bit and look under the hood and see everything that's happening from a recruiting standpoint, a development standpoint. Is the attitude, you remember we always talk about the attitude of your program, is the attitude where you want it to be? Are you getting the kind of effort out of everybody involved in the program? And all those things, I'm sure, are getting evaluated, and you want to do that. You want to do that whether you win or lose, particularly when you lose. It seems like there's more of a sense of urgency to get that done right away.
That's his daughter who's actually conducting the interview with this podcast,
Yes.
which is kind of cool, right?
It is.
Look, he says that. He said some other things about, what goes on at the University of Michigan in his tenure there. John, as an alum, how would you categorize, what Rich Rod's time in Michigan? Was he given a fair shot?
I think he was, because when you look at his record, yes, the total wins went up 3-5-7, but the Big Ten wins. He had 2 in his first year, 1 and then 3, and yes, that's going up. But when you're 3 and 5 in the Big Ten, that's best for tied for 7th. So I don't necessarily know that he was never well received because a lot of the things that he said when he took the job, and I know he addresses some of those in this podcast. And he was talking a lot about the previous staff, and whether or not when you take a job and you come into a place like Michigan where you've got a lineage where whether it's Bo to Mo to Lloyd, I don't think it's a great idea. You're not going to endear yourself to anyone when you throw shade at the regime that was there before. We knew when Rich Kemp got the job that it was going to be different. And I think a lot of people at that point they thought, yes, we need to change directions. We need to get more explosive. We need to, get to the modern era of football. And they wanted some more excitement. So I don't necessarily know that there were a lot of people that did support the move, but he turned some of those supporters off just for the fact that he was not, complimentary to the previous staff. And that's the one thing that I never held it against Rich, because I had a chance to go in and talk to him and meet him. And I would support, whoever the coach is that's at Michigan. But when and it wasn't just Lloyd Carr, it was the strength and conditioning staff. It was a lot of different areas that he had different philosophy, and that's fine, and you should. But with the history of Michigan football, I don't know that I would come in just looking to, part the waters.
He didn't do his homework before he actually accepted the job, and they probably didn't do their homework on him either. And the one thing I will agree with him on, though, is there were some coaches there in the previous administration who actually was convincing players to transfer before they even had a chance to even talk to Rodriguez, which I thought was ridiculous.
I disagree.
No?
Do you know that they did that?
Well, that was alleged. I think wasn't Ryan Mallett was one of them, right?